What if your house became your entire world? Your office, your grocery store, your panic room, even your church of hope. The Last House explores exactly that, and I am so here for the chaos and the craft. Hey, it's Emma, and I'm feeling totally intrigued today. The vibes are Seattle gray with a touch of end-of-the-world chic, which is low-key my favorite movie mood when I'm not stuck on the 405. So, let's talk. The Last House is a 2026 Netflix sci-fi thriller about a family in suburban Seattle that gets mysteriously sealed inside their home when an ominous storm hits. Doors, windows, floors, everything becomes this wild, water-based barrier that just says, nope. Outside, unknown creatures show up in the rain. Inside, it's pure survival mode. Think resource management, family politics, and the kind of dread that hums at 3 a.m. when your brain will not shut up. It's tight, contained, and very much about what you do when the world stops explaining itself. Quick story. Last winter we had that freak LA downpour. Power cut in my place by Griffith, fridge dead, candles everywhere, me trying to boil pasta on a camping stove like an unserious pioneer. My friend Maya was like, do not open your patio door. Something is scraping around. And I'm all, babe, that's just the ficus. Then the lights flashed twice. Silence. My heart in my throat. What I learned in that tiny 4-hour blackout was how fast a home flips from comfort to strategy. In The Last House, that flip is instant. When the rain begins, a barrier locks a family in, communications die, and rain-born creatures prowl outside. Same beat, higher stakes. Let's get into how they live with that. Basic premise, Eli 5. It's like a real-life escape room, except there is no exit. Day 0. Dad Jason makes it home as a weird storm rolls in. After the rain starts, the house is sealed. Cell signals gone, neighbors screaming. Some trapped outside, some vanishing. The family treats the home like a spaceship. Everything has to loop. They ration food and water, build routines for the kids so the walls don't eat their brains, and hide during storms because the creatures are active then. It's a survival syllabus. And the ingenuity is a total vibe. Anne starts an indoor garden that slowly takes over the living room. Jason rigs a water reclamation system, basically collecting and cleaning water so you can drink it and keep plants alive without a Brita or the DWP. They even build traps up through a skinny chimney opening they discover. It's too narrow to escape, but perfect to send bait out and pull protein back in. Dark detail? They lose the family dog, Cassidy, and later use the remains as bait. That choice is brutal. It tells you this movie will not blink when survival gets ugly. Then, the power grid fails. No fridge, no lights. Daylight equals life. Night is a negotiation. Let's talk people. Louis Leterrier, the director, is the guy steering the claustrophobia. He keeps you pressed against drywall, listening for drips. Matthew Robinson wrote it. His script says, "Mystery stays a mystery. Now show me sacrifice." Greta Lee, who plays Anne, is the spine of the film. She's the mom with dirt under her nails and a spreadsheet in her head. Wagner Moura plays Jason, an out-of-work engineer, all improvisation and quiet panic. He's the dad who can solder hope together with a paperclip and a prayer. Critics kept saying these two hold the whole house up, and they're not wrong. You can feel their performances in your jaw. The kids, Graham and Ruth, age over years, and that time jump is genius because you watch resilience curdle into restlessness. Ruth especially. She sees a creature and insists it's not purely a monster, and that empathy becomes the key later on. Now, the big unanswered question you're going to scream about in your group chat. What caused all of this? The film does not tell you. Not the barrier physics, not whether the creatures are aliens, deep-sea weirdos, or a climate revenge arc. The closest we get is ocean vibes. A tentacled creature literally drips seawater inside their home and contaminates the garden. Later, when the rains stop, Seattle is mostly underwater. Ruth's theory is that these beings are oceanic and reclaiming the planet. Is that canon? No, but the evidence points maritime. I love the ambiguity because it turns your brain into a projector. You fill in the dread. Also, yes, some critics hated that. A RogerEbert.com reviewer gave it 1.5 out of 4, calling it frustrating. Empire, the UK movie magazine, was more like, it's fine, but Arthur C. Clarke this ain't. Translation: don't expect textbook hard science. Expect vibes, process, and emotion. Personally, I think the film is strongest when it treats empathy like a survival tool. There's a scene late where a creature gets trapped inside. Jason could end it. Ruth begs for mercy. He listens. Is that diplomacy? Is it mimicry? Is it coincidence? Unclear. But the moment reframes the whole dynamic from predator-prey to you see me, I see you. It's risky storytelling. I respect the swing. Some crunchy details for my process nerds. The barrier is water adjacent, kind of like a force field made of nope, and it even extends under the floors. Over years, the ground shifts, the house sinks, cracks appear, and that shift becomes both danger and opportunity. Anne crawls a sewage pipe, the literal waste tunnels under your street, to a neighbor's house to grab antibiotics after a ferret bite goes septic. It's the most disgusting hero's journey, and also, like, the definition of urban infrastructure becoming survival infrastructure. Then the plumbing reverses during a storm, and the house floods vertically, pushing them into the attic. When the rain finally stops and that door swings open, it's like emerging from a bunker into a water world. They salvage a boat and realize, oh, there are other survivors. Hope is not dead, it's just damp. Industry tea. It's a Netflix release. Dropped in 2026, very made for streaming energy. Critics said exactly that. Strong leads, but the pacing and payoff are debatable. Production-wise, they shot in England at Shepperton Studios, even though the story's set in Seattle. That's a big water tank, controlled set decision. You feel it in the contained design. Oh, and the marketing. A performer literally lived inside a furnished billboard at Sunset and Selma here in LA, waving, scanning with binoculars, holding messages on a whiteboard. It mirrored the entrapment vibe, and, honestly, chef's kiss for commitment. I drove by on my way to a Pilates class and almost rear-ended a Prius. Not me, but me. Social stakes. Because this is where it hits. The film is not about solving the apocalypse. It's about living with not knowing. That's very post-everything. Pandemic hangover, climate dread. The way kids absorb long emergencies while parents cosplay stability until it becomes real, that's messy. Sometimes the movie is middling on momentum, but the resource loops, the mercy play, the idea that routine is a life raft, that sticks with you when you're stuck in traffic watching storm clouds over the valley, thinking, ugh, did I charge my lantern? Next time, we're diving into another survival story with a twist. Less rain, more rules, and the messiest moral math you've seen since your ex asked to share a Netflix account again. So, that's the tea, folks. Stay curious and resourceful. Stash some batteries, plant an herb, and be nice to the creature at your door. Later.